Alright guys, so recently I was doing a little bit of reading on Kalahari, the one located in Sandusky, Ohio, that I went to a few times when I was younger, and I found an interesting article on the Zip Coaster, which was the big-time indoor hybrid water slide that went around the middle of the indoor water park. They've closed it and it's been demolished, and I'm going to go through the reasons why this happened. This happening back in 2020 is when they officially took it down. But you can see this article. You're going to love this roller coaster. This was done, seems like a few months before they took it down, October of 2019. The first water park ride of its kind, indoor or outdoor, the Zip Coaster at Kalahari Indoor Water Park Resort in Sandusky, Ohio, is aptly named. Its two-person rafts quickly zip along the ride's waterslide tracks. Thanks to its unique conveyor belt launch system, the raft zips uphill as well as downhill and offers plenty of thrills. Unfortunately, the ultra-noisy conveyor belt system also makes a terrible racket for Zip Coaster riders and guests throughout the indoor water park. So I went on this thing a few times a while ago. I want to say maybe the last time I've been to Kalahari was in 2014, possibly. And I've ridden it probably a total of 3 or 4 times overall. I remember when we got on the rafts, it was very important that the heavier person was in the back. Now that kind of is standard when it comes to water slides when you're in a raft with another person anyways, but it was serious. Like if one person weighed 5 pounds more, they had to be in the back. And I'm going to be talking about why did this thing get removed from the indoor water park. It was such a key feature, and I was doing some research on Facebook, looking at what people were saying. The number one reason it got removed was not due to safety concerns, which if you look at this thing, it kind of gives you the same vibe as the Verrückt water slide, which I'm sure a lot of people know. Unfortunately, the horrible accident with the young child dying in that. This one, unlike the Verrückt, not nearly as bad in terms of any type of crazy hill going down. It's more of like a hybrid water slide roller coaster, I would say, on a raft. But I do remember going on it and going up and down some of the hills. When you would accelerate, you would kind of get flung out of your raft a little bit. One of the main reasons the Zip Coaster ended up getting taken down was due to the amount of malfunctions it had. Because of its conveyor belt system, it posed a big problem, and there were times throughout the day that it would be shut down anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. We've seen this with different roller coasters. The Maverick at Cedar Point always seems to be down, but this was a ride that was normally down a lot. As far as I know, it didn't have to do with any type of safety concerns. It was mainly based around the issues that it had in terms of actually working as an uphill water coaster, which is pretty rare in general. And while also doing some research on Kalahari and the recent changes, they completely have a brand new outdoor water park area. Now, when I went, there were a few little kiddie pools outside. Like if you stay at one of the hotels, there's like all the windows, and when you go to the back of your room and go outside, go onto the balcony, you can see kind of a big, not that it's a courtyard area, it's like this massive area, and they've expanded it. Now they've got a bunch of different pools. They have a bunch of different slides out there. So that has been something they've expanded as well. You can see in some of the different renderings. Just taking a look, they also had another issue, this happening a few years ago as well. An air duct fell on down to the basketball section of the indoor park, and it injured 5 people, this happening back in 2018. They also have added a brand new convention center to the Kalahari in Sandusky as well. There's a photo of all of the construction you can see. I mean, when I used to go out onto the balcony, there was none of that. They've completely built that out. Well, actually, they did have the zip lines going around. You see the big zip line tower on the one side. That's really the only thing they had built up. There was also an indoor-outdoor hot tub that they had, but that was located kind of in the resort I'm guessing on the right-hand side of here. You can't really see it, but they built up all those different slides. Looks like 4 different slides, and now they have an outdoor park as well. And that, I guess that kind of makes up for the zip coaster going away. But the zip coaster was, I would say, the second or third biggest attraction when it comes to the Kalahari in Sandusky, although you could argue, depending on if, a lot of families go, they like the 4-person rafts, they like the toilet bowls, things like that. I think, honestly, when you look at the interior of this, it could use a new roof. You might be nitpicking. I'm sure, they really don't care, but it does kind of look like a greenhouse to me. I would certainly pick some type of translucent roof that permitted a little bit more natural light to come into the park. It would just make it look a lot better. And that was the original outdoor water park design before they completely built it out. You can see they've added a bunch of stuff to the left of this area, but this is a rendering of before they built the bigger part of the outdoor area out. And they've just got 2 different kiddie pools, some kiddie slides, and things like that. It's kind of a multi-phase thing where one year they'll expand it a little bit, then they'll do more. And now at this point, they've built the exterior area out there. When it comes to the zip coaster, are they planning on installing something similar like this? As far as I can tell, no. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do with the space because the zip coaster did take up a lot of space. It kind of went around all the middle and the back end of the indoor water park. But it was certainly unique, and unfortunately, because of the sophistication of it, an uphill water slide with the hydraulics, it was just too much to maintain and it didn't make sense. It was not based around safety, although based on what we've seen with some other water slides around the world, you can understand maybe safety being a concern. When I went on it, I did notice, a few different times where it kind of felt a little borderline, but that might have just been because I was smaller and younger. Either way, that's the current status of the zip coaster. It has been removed now for well over 2 years, and it doesn't look like anything close to it is being replaced. Guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on X. Links to that's always in the description.